What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining me again in my channel. In today's episode, I'm very excited because it's one of my favorite strategies. We're going to review one strategy that actually comes from Tim Grittani's DVD, actually comes from Stephen Duck's DVD, and a little bit of Roland Wolf's, although he trades it on the long side when it doesn't work, which is pretty awesome. That being said, this is called the gap down strategy, overextended strategy. This is something that I know that if you're a short seller, you're going to love. And if you're already short selling, maybe this will be a good review. But this is one of my favorite patterns. It has a high odds probability of working. So let's get started. By the end of this episode, you're going to be able to know what the strategy is, how to find it, and how to trade it. Let's get started. Remember, guys, if you're liking this content, subscribe, hit the bell. I post once a week, every Saturday in the morning. And I want to keep this up, so make sure to subscribe, make sure to give me some comments because I love interacting with you guys. As you see on previous videos, I always respond. And again, let's get this review going on the gap down. So the gap down strategy, let me just tell you real quick before I show you on the computer here. I'm actually trading it right now, but we'll review it and let me explain it before we go into the details. First off, you need to make sure it's overextended. Overextended is depending on you, multiple green days in a row, up 80%, 100%, 200%, something that's overextended and has a ton of volume from previous days, okay? That being said, you don't want something that's super micro float. Micro float is anything under 2 million. It can be, just gotta be very careful with your size because you can get squeezed very hard if it's a fake out. The other thing is you wanna make sure that you have a great entry. A great entry is usually risking around the previous close. That's a great entry. Or if you miss that and it gaps down and huge and then spikes and doesn't get anywhere near that but fails at that new high, that could be also an area of risk. These typically fade the rest of the day and they can continue the next following day. So depending on how comfortable you are, you could hold it overnight. That being said, let's get started on showing it on the computer. All right, so let's review this gap short. So first off, you can see here that this is definitely overextended. It's from the 2s all the way up to the 6s, and better yet, it's from the 3s all the way up to the 6s, right? Well, that's when it initially started. That being said, today is a day where it, gaps down, as I mentioned before. You can see here its previous close, and you can see I took a short here right in the 570s, and I covered way too soon in the 530s, but you can see that you can be holding this the rest of the day. Now, initially, I did want to re-enter on a pop up in this 540 area where it was holding, but I did not get that, and it's still fading, and sometimes that happens. That being said, this is your ideal entry because you want to risk this area, the previous close. Now, the biggest thing to remember is this has massive volume. So there's tons of people that were in this stock, and the first day that it goes red, there's a reason for people to sell because now they're like, oh shit, it's not going to continue going forward. So that's super important to know. That's one of the reasons why this works. That being said, you got to look and pay attention to key areas. Like if you see here, 528 and then this 460 area are key areas of support still. So you can see why I probably covered right here above 528 because it actually held that area right whenever it broke down a couple of times. I thought it would give me an opportunity to add like this candle did in the 550s, 560s. But sometimes you miss the play, and that unfortunately happened to me today. I missed the rest of the play. Could have been a very good fader all day. That was the plan, but sometimes it happens. So keep in mind, you need something that's overextended. Remember, you want something that's gapping down. You want to risk a previous close or a previous area that has shown resistance. Like if this bounces right now to this 540 level, I'll probably be shorting. And you more than likely would like to hold until key areas of support to cover. So this is a key area. This looks to be a key area as well, especially if it recovers. But that's a quick snapshot. Hopefully this helps you. Let's make sure if you have any questions, send them on the comments below. I'm happy to help. And this is a strategy that everyone calls it something different. I love this as an overextension play. This is what I call it. Let me know how it works out for you if you trade this. If you have other tips, love to hear it. But hopefully this helps.